A guy walks into Temba's lawyer's office and he asks Temba, "Excuse me, sir, how much do you charge?" Temba says, "I charge 10,000 rands to answer 3 questions. "Bloody hell," the man says, "that's a bit expensive, isn't it?" "Yes, it is. What is your 3rd question?" asked Temba. Good evening and welcome to Talk with Rams Live. We are on Facebook Live, Instagram TV, and YouTube as Talk with Rams. Thank you for choosing to join us. We are because of you. Let me remind you that to qualify for the 50% discount on Dr. Thando Sibanda's book, The Winning Mindset, all you have to do is to subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, Talk with Rams. Take a screenshot of your subscription and send it to admin@talkwithrams.com, and then you have your discounted book to greatness. It is as simple as that. Just screenshot your subscription to our YouTube channel, Talk with Rams. The special is open for a while, so take advantage, well, for a short while. So take advantage now before we move on. Now then, you know, non-profit work is hard at the best of times. And I know what I'm talking about. It is a thankless job. It is a space where you spend your life begging people. You beg for a living, but also you beg so that you can give on to other people. That's the funny thing. So you don't beg for yourself. All this that you will get goes on to other people, to a cause that you would have chosen. So those people who are involved in NPO work have always had a special place in my heart, and they will always have that space, whatever the NPO work is. And there's one NPO that I have watched for a long time, and I was privileged to speak to the boss some years ago. The NGO is called Imbumba Foundation, founded by an innovative, amazing social entrepreneur, a man who refuses to age. And I mean, I can frankly call my friend Richard Mabaso. He founded this in 2010. Can you believe it? It's been 10 years that he's been running Imbumba, which is a bean seed, by the way. That's what Imbumba means. It symbolizes eternity and the unending cycle of life. It represents eternal bond, and because it has no beginning or end. I want to repeat that, because it has no beginning or end. So Imbumba will outlive Richard because it's got no end. And it lived before him because it was there before him. It represents an eternal bond that has no beginning or end. It has constant growth through unity and cycle of life. This man is my guest tonight. Richard Mabaso is the game changer. Good evening, my brother. Kunjani?
Hey, ngifilile mfowethu njani, and
I am
good
excited.
evening to
I'm like a
you
child.
and the viewers.
I'm like a child.
No,
I'm happy to
I'm
be
excited. I'm excited. This is really, for me, it's it's incredible. Thank you so much for having me.
My brother, you know, I have watched your work all the time, and I know 30 minutes of, I call this the most powerful 30 minutes of digital content. But today, 30 minutes won't be enough. So I'm going to try and squeeze as much as possible out of you in these 30 minutes.
Awesome.
So let me start by saying, why? Why did you think this is your course? Whose way? Somewhere.
No, you know, Brarams, I think you and I have come to a point of realization in our life where you get to that point where you realize that even if I was doing whatever job on this planet Earth, I wouldn't be happy as I am right now. So it started with a simple conversation, which was not directed at myself. It was, I overheard it because my mom and my niece, basically my niece was telling my mom that she is feeling some pains and she doesn't know what's going on. And my mom basically shushed her because she said, no, but you can't talk about this in front of your uncle. And I'm like, but what is that? What's going on? And then, so it turned out that my niece was going to start her periods for the first time ever on that day.
Wow.
But then the two things, Brarems, happened till today. I cannot go to sleep a happy man because of what happened on that day. One was the fact that my niece did not have information. She didn't know what was happening. And mind you, she was just visiting us from her mom's place, where she just lived with the mom. And because the mom is working in the local farms there, she never had time. So she was there, and then, she just didn't know what was happening. But secondly, not only that she didn't know what was happening, she did not have anyone empowered, which is this uncle. I was not empowered to go to the shop and buy her a pack of sanitary pads. And I mean, I can tell you stories of sanitary pads where you still have men right now, married men, who would still get into a supermarket and just wait for the moment when a beautiful looking young woman walk past and say, "Can you please pay for this for me? And then I'll get it outside," So for me, that was really, really devastating to this day, that, I even decided that surely if this is a problem for a niece who has an uncle like myself, who at that time I was just working and I could have easily gone to the shop to buy it, but I promise you, I did not do it. And then from that very moment, I then decided that I want to start a campaign to help young males understand that we need to be there for our younger sisters. So you might be an uncle, you might be a young daddy, you might be a brother living in, we come from very diverse backgrounds, which includes young males who are raising younger siblings who happen to be, some of them to be girls. So we come from child-headed families. So we come from just very diverse backgrounds. And I decided that I want to inspire young men to go to the shop, buy a pack of sanitary pad, and proudly take a picture, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, and say, "I bought this for my sister, I bought this for my kids, I bought this for..." So as I was trying to find my way around that, when you get excited because now you're like, "Oh wow, this thing will work," and then I had to go around, knock on doors, ask people, and this was 2011. Which was 1 year after starting Imbumba. And then I found myself talking to people and saying, "Please help me." And you know what? Then you get the discouragement of note when people say, "But why are you doing this? You're a man." And, they're just trying to connect. I'm like, "Guys, I'm talking about the big issue here. You're just trying to connect. Why am I doing it?" And, so people were not getting it. And that question, because it was consistent, it was coming from almost every second or third person I was speaking to, then made me to decide to start what is today known as Trek for Mandela, because I said, maybe I should do something that I've never done before in my life. And then before I knew it, I was calling a friend, Sibusiso Vilani. I said, "My friend, I want you to take me up Kilimanjaro. I want to climb Kilimanjaro, and I want to raise funds for sanitary pads." So Sibusiso said, "Yes, that sounds interesting. I can take you there." And then, 2 days later, I'm back to my default position. But so what? People climb Kilimanjaro every day, but what would make it different? Then a light bulb moment came in when I said, actually, I can talk to Mandela Foundation. I can call these guys and say, "I want to do this for Mandela Day." And in fact, it will become one of the very few initiatives that are living the mantra, which is take action, inspire change, and make every day a Mandela Day. So I said, we will go climb Kilimanjaro, stand on top of Kili on Mandela Day, use that day to amplify the message. But then we'll come back, we'll distribute sanitary pads Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday, January till December. And that's what we are doing right now. And we're running the biggest sanitary pads distribution in the country with over 1.5 million girls reached since 2012.
Oh, my brother, Oh, I remember interviewing you on Metro telling me about this, and I just thought, man, this guy. But Richard, climbing Kilimanjaro does not take 67 minutes.
Yes. So again, what we found over the years, that climbing Kilimanjaro does take quite a bit of time, anything between 7 up to 9 days on the mountain. It's quite a daunting task. And what we've been finding out, though, is that it emulates the long walk to freedom, because you do feel that it is a long walk. And yes,
Yeah.
by the way, the summit point of Kilimanjaro, it's called Uhuru. And Uhuru is a Swahili word for freedom. So
Yeah.
when you get to the top, you feel every single step that you take. And yes, people are saying, you should have called me and asked me to make a donation to you without making me climb this mountain, because it gets that tough. But you then say to yourself that there are certain things that we don't do because they are fun to do. You do because you want to forget yourself for a moment and just do something that that you could have done it the easier way, but you take the
Yes.
difficult route because you want it to teach you a lot of things. I mean, we come back from Kilimanjaro with discipline. You come back with leadership. You come back from, one of the biggest things is that, as you know, Brarams, we take CEOs, we take celebrities, we take people from South Africa, from across the world, from the United States, from Europe, and elsewhere. But for those 7 days, you are subjected to a Tanzanian guide who has never been to school.
I'm seeing a few people saying the sound is gone. So please.
Oh, no. And
no. I'm talking to Freddie in the background to help us.
oh, okay.
Okay, sorry, folks. But I told you guys I must fire this man, and you told me not to fire him. You see, he keeps on doing these things. I'm sorry about that, folks. I hope you have not missed much. You will also go back to the podcast and listen again. Richard, I like the metaphor of going up the mountain, but also of speaking to somebody who may not understand your language. It is no different from exactly what Caring for Girls does. When a man goes to do work with women, somebody who's never been a woman, somebody who will never even experience a period, but has to reach out to these people. It is as hard as climbing up that mountain, isn't it?
Absolutely. You see, Brarams, the most amazing thing about God is that when He created us and gave us a mandate. But those mandates that He gave us, He did not give us the manual of how to live this thing called life. But He has placed people in different positions to assist us along the way. So when the idea of caring for girls came, I promise you, the one thing that I had in my mind was I shouldn't worry about not knowing, even touching a pack of sanitary pad. I would never walk through those aisles. You know, I would just look once and then you look the other way. But now when that idea came, I only had to trust God and believe in Him to guide me, to channel me to the right people, to go. And I mean, to this day, like you correctly say, I will never, ever in my life experience, you know, how it feels like to be on your period pains. But what has enabled us to get this far through the with the initiative, it's things like believing in the journey, believing in the process, but also understanding that God cannot give you a vision without the support system in place. So, and He has been very trustworthy in that we started the campaign, and along the journey, we met a lot of partners. I mean, we're talking right now about partners like your Imbumba Foundation, who create a platform through those pharmacies or stores throughout the country. They get their customers to go buy a pack of sanitary pad and leave it in the bin. You know, it's just one way of showing that God will always make a way for the vision that He entrusted you with to succeed. And then we got people like Let's, who came on board since 2013. They helped us with the puberty education. We got the likes of Banking Association South Africa. They helped us with the content development. And today, you know, I'm just sitting and looking around. We've employed more than 30 people who are working on the Caring for Girls, Track for Mandela, and our youth leadership initiatives. It just shows that from nothing, we were able to create something, but not because we had it all figured out, but we trusted and believed in the vision. And when you believe in the vision, you do one thing and one thing only, is you wake up in the morning and work towards making your vision better and better every time. And you don't get to a point where you're like, now I've reached a point where I can rest or I can relax. In fact, it's in Mandiba's Long Walk to Freedom, where he talks about the fact that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. And guess what? After summit, when you start walking down, they say that you only start picking up speed. So it is when we summit Kilimanjaro that when we come back, and I remember one of our climbers in 2015, she said something quite profound. She was asked, why do you have to put you through the torture of climbing Kilimanjaro if you can just do this thing, just donate 500, whatever? She says, the climbing of Kilimanjaro, it's a metaphor for us to climb this mountain so that all these young girls that we are representing or we are walking on their behalf, they have at least one less mountain to climb in their lives.
Oh, man. Oh, Richard, let me read you some of the comments coming through on Facebook. Itumelemu TV sends love. He just sends a big heart to you. Landisa's one, he says, great stuff. Sonti Unati claps the hands. And Dudu Makati says, that's a lot of girls. Wow. And yes, wow, indeed. I am moved. Well done, Puti. That's the Bohomuhali Tankani. On Instagram, wow. The Global Business Connector has got a string of messages, including with compassion and empathy, you can help and assist any person. He says also trust and value the system and the process. That Absolutely. Way you will get the support from experts. And then lastly, he says, focus on the vision and trust the process. No, actually he adds, this is so humbling and must be fulfilling. It has to be self-fulfilling to you. I mean, you do great work, but it must be also for you a great feeling when you go to bed, isn't it?
Yeah, look, you do go to bed feeling excited, feeling great about the impact you're making. One of the things that I share lately is that in 2012, when I went to climb this mountain, which I didn't have any idea how it looked like, I never had the honor or the opportunity to climb the lowest hill in my village. And then now I'm like taking myself to Kilimanjaro. But what I remember from that going up the mountain, it's one, I had less questions. People asking me, why are you doing this? Because they were now getting the picture. And again, the metaphor is that Kilimanjaro is the highest peak of the African continent. And when you stand at the top, your message is amplified. And that's what exactly happened, because from going in 2012 and supporting just one school, in which at that one school, there was a girl called Charlotte Sibia who was standing in the queue. She was in grade 10. And since that day, Charlotte received a pack of sanitary pads and she never looked back. And every single month, we were able to distribute sanitary pads at her school until Charlotte got out of school. She went to Fort Hare University, obtained a degree, and then in 2017, she did her honors. In 2018, she graduated. Last year, she started working, and this year, she's now in her second year of work. And guess what? Now Charlotte is not only empowered to support her family, but now she's paying it forward, because when we go to school to distribute, she is part of the team that is going there as a motivational speaker to say, I was once that girl, and today I'm coming to tell you that it is possible. Regardless of your background, she didn't pay a single cent to go to school, to go to university. And today she's testimony that a girl from a rural village of Lupisi, which is just outside Nelspruit, can make it happen. And today she is one of those girls that we can reference to say, yes, we feel great to have made such a contribution or an intervention in these communities. But beyond that, we know that she will then become the beacon of hope for many, many young girls out there to know that it can be done and it is possible.
Richard, you're doing great work. Charlotte is paying forward. How can others support? Those who are listening to you and I now, how do they support the movement, mate?
Others can simply support through many, many different ways. They can go, reach out to us via social media. I'm on various social media platforms, your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But also currently there is a campaign that is running. It started last week, Thursday. We are working in partnership with Discam and Discam Foundation. They can pop in at any Discam between today and the end of August. They can pop in at any Discam, simply buy a pack of sanitary pad and throw it. There's a purple bin that is provided there. You buy just one pack, which will cost you anything between $9.99 and 25 Rand. Just buy one pack, drop it in the bin, because those sanitary pads, Discam donates them every year. To give you an idea of how it works, we started in 2015 with Discam. They collected 1.8 million sanitary pads, and they donated to Imbumba. We gave them to various schools, communities, and last year, not only that they surpassed the 1.8 million, last year, in fact, since 2018, they've been collecting 10 million sanitary pads. So what does that tell you? Is that one drop does not fill a bucket, but many drops do. So as much as we asking people to donate that one pack, but it becomes one pack after another, and collectively we can make a big difference. So people can pop in at their Discam and try and help us to make sure that we reach yet another milestone of a minimum of 10 million sanitary pads this year.
Richard Mabaso, CEO of Imbumba Foundation. You are an amazing seed, my brother. I love your work. Thank you very much for what you do. We will continue to support you. And please, folks, go to Discam, do your work. In fact, you know what? Take a picture and tag Richard and tag us so that we all make it fashionable. Let's make this fashionable. Let's run this campaign together. Rich, have a great evening and good work. All the best, my brother.
Thank you, my brother, and keep up the great work as well. Keep, forging ahead with the 4IR and introducing us into the new norm. Thank you and well done, and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. And folks, Dr. T is back next week, but he said if he's got less than 100 people buying the book, he's not coming back. From me, Rams Mabote, good night and God bless.